I ain't saying
So I
no
heard
names, but it's
went off. I heard Ngozi went off when he said Fulani's Hebrews. He said, I'm Fulani, nigga. What the hell is goofy nigga talking about? I'm Fulani. Shit. Damn. I'm vexed y'all can't record, man. Damn, man. I missed all of that. Damn, I gotta be on Clubhouse more, yo.
Nah, that could be happening on the spur of the moment, bro. But
Yeah,
just popping in. They just pop in and then that shit just go crazy, man. Then I finally had Yashub on the channel from Clubhouse. He was crying and screaming, "Let's go live! Let's go live!"
Oh yeah. Oh.
I said,
he don't want to talk in Clubhouse.
I got this dude on the show, bro. We started talking, and he started E1 B1A bullshit, and I'm like, yo, bro, listen, ain't no haplo group, ain't no genetic markup in Jew. Here's the three scientists. We started talking, and he just kept talking about E1 B1A, E1 B1B. Yo, the name of the show was Who Are the Black Americans, bro. When you go get to the Black Americans, bro. And I started going through my shit. And he's like, well, right here it says the Jews were slaves in Haiti. The Jews were slaves in Haiti. Where the fuck you get that from, bro? This right here, it says it here. I said, okay, so what's the primary to that? Okay. So the Sephardi Jews are Africans. He's like, yeah. I was like,
I'll be like, have a good night. I'll be like, have a good night. That's crazy, yo.
My whole
shit. Years though.
Then he fucked up my whole thing, bro. Then he came on and was like, all right, listen. We want to know about the Black American. He used that shit to run off the show. I was like, yo, bro, man, this dude be stalking me, son. This is my time to get him, son. Why did you do that, bro?
You talking about Jashub, right?
Yeah, son.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And now we talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And now we talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And now we talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And now we talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And now we talking, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, man, so you had him?
Yeah, he was on the show because he was in Clubhouse and he started talking crazy. And
All right. Looks like the show has officially ended over there with the Daggersquad crew. And whew, man, that was a lot going on there, buddy. Hey, I don't even know how to even get started with this one, man. Wow. Wow. Can I say wow again? Let's get some folks in here, man. Make sure you like the video, share the video, whatever you gotta do. Let's get a couple people in here so we can have this conversation if y'all like to. You know, yeah, it was definitely on a permanent loop back forever. I think Garfield probably ended the show or got caught up in a loop or something, so it'll be all right. But, you know, hey, thanks for joining the show here. I really just wanted to I'm just frustrated. I wanted to kind of have the discussion and find out if y'all want to kind of build on this topic. I'm not sure if anybody's going to come in here. You know, I don't really get a lot of lives because I don't really do live videos. But if they do, they do. They don't, they don't, you know. But shit, man, just trying to see what's going on, bro. I don't know. So I just really feel that we spend a whole lot of time doing nothing. Like, I don't understand what we just did. I don't understand what this young lady. I don't understand her logic. I don't understand where she was going with any of her points. And it was definitely circular logic. I don't necessarily. I didn't. And peace official. I didn't necessarily hear or understand a logical train of thought. And for my questions at the end of the live, it was kind of disheartening for someone to say something, to speak so negatively about something, and then come right back and refer to those same texts and that same language that she's dissing. And yeah, you can ask me a question, bro. You want to hop on? I'm sending you the link right quick. Let me put the link in the chat. You know, I don't do this every day. I normally upload my videos that are pre-recorded, but today definitely needed to have a live video because this just, whoo, I got a headache, man. If I don't get it, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we got to do all this just to have a conversation. Like we definitely should not ever have to make up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole logic was just it wasn't making sense. Like I think my kids, like I got a 5-year-old, and when he talks to me, I understand what his intention is better than like she talked for like 5 hours. I have no clue what she was talking about. Man, it was bad, bro. Rocky, like you had a young lady come on, and she was actually on with a Dr. Josh, I believe Josh Bowen. And peace to you, official Lost Cause. Let me just finish what I was saying there.
Peace, Kyle.
Oh, no doubt, fam. Thanks for joining the panel, man. But I don't think I think she has these thoughts, but she didn't necessarily build a model to make these thoughts congruent and make them connect. So like she's got all these, and this is what Hebrews do, and people that are normally in cults do. They have these random bits and pieces of information, but they never think how one piece of information or one thing that she believes in affects the other things that she believes in. And so like there's no intellectual accountability for things that you say, because none of this has to matter, because all she has to do is say, I didn't say that. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We got official Lost in the call. Lost call, excuse me. I'm bad.
Nah, you good.
Yeah,
I was actually, I don't.
It's my first time building with you, bro. So I apologize, man. But welcome to my channel, man. You know, it's a new channel, so thank you for coming in and joining me.
Oh no, of course. I've listened to you build quite a few times on Daggersquad, and you know the team that you guys have over there and the brotherhood that you guys have over there is heavily respected by me. So when I seen that you had a channel, I was like, all right, let me immediately jump on and make sure I give you a follow and stuff like that. So I want to become a little more active on your channel as well and just show you that support because it's necessary.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
No, not a problem. I was actually in the panel with you when you were going back and forth with the sister.
Yeah, I think you in there.
I was trying to get a question in, but it got crazy. So
yeah,
you know, it's funny because I've dealt with so many people. You know, I'm not a scholar in no way, shape, or form. I leave that to guys like yourself, Garfield, Morpheus, Black Lion. And I kind of tend to lean on more on the side of logic and what makes sense. And I try to make sense of a person's perspective. And if it doesn't make sense to me, I kind of do away with it. Mm-hmm. And the entire time that I was listening to what she was saying, it seemed very, her thoughts seemed very convoluted. They seemed all over the place. She even at times came across as bipolar, because she would start off as very peaceful and then ramp up to this aggressive, arrogant, intense individual when trying to defend her point, or when she was backed into a corner, which is the reason why I think she snapped at you.
Yeah.
You backed her so far into a corner, the only thing she can do to get out of it is snap at you. But I wanted to know your perspective on why do you think there's this desperation for believers to fit their narrative into history?
Oh, that's a great question. And that question is actually the reason why I'm no longer a Hebrew Israelite. Me actually answering that question in my real life, you know what I'm saying? Because it's at some point in belief, you got to come in terms or come to grips with reality, and you got to say some of this stuff really don't fit. You know what I'm saying? And I got to make a decision: is the Bible wrong, or have I been wrong my entire life? For me personally, I decided to put the faith and trust into me, because I know how hard I worked in school. I know how many nights I stayed up doing homework and figuring out problems in physics, and I took chemistry and I did these things. And like, I know that what I did when I was in my educational experience, I seen it, I saw it with my own two eyes, and I know it to be true based on everything that I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
no, I feel you. I feel you.
yeah, I couldn't turn my back on everything that I did. But what these people do, they say that they love God so much that shit don't even matter. Everything that I've
Yeah, they
always
do.
learned, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that I learned, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out the window because I love God and God wouldn't like me being smart as I supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's for
Yeah.
them, they literally feel, and again, I was a Hebrew, bro. You know how many days I read something like not in a biblical text, like in a science textbook, and I had to dismiss it because of my religious belief. And eventually you get to the point like, you like, bro, I gotta dismiss everything because like I can't deal with medicine no more. I can't deal with biology. I can't deal with evolution. I can't deal with fucking the cosmos. I can't deal with nothing because this God don't know shit. And like, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to give you perspective, official, you gotta think about it for a second. Well, I'm sure you don't know today because I don't either, but we recently discovered gravity, bro.
Yeah.
Like we recently not discovered, we recently understood that, hey man, it's this force that pulls us, and why, you know what I'm saying? We recently got that understanding. They didn't even understand that shit, bro. They didn't understand.
Nah, they don't. They got a belief.
Yeah. Like, for the young lady to say that they was so much more technologically advanced than us, no, they didn't have no fucking cars. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have Wi-Fi. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have none of these things that are, for us, these are definitely things that show intelligence because we can manipulate our natural world now because we're smarter than they are. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
Yeah, what's that?
When her brother jumped on, right? And you actually just made the point again during this conversation. Look at Sister Mika. That's my favorite Hebrew. But
Mika say she in the Hebrew, but she feel like 65% Hebrew.
Yeah, she on the borderline. But
yeah.
when the sisters when the young lady's brother got on the panel and he started kind of trying to drill you and Garfield about what your perspectives are, what your ideology is, and things like that. You actually just mentioned it just now. There's a powerful point, and I've actually had a young lady that I worked with who was very into her religion, very, like, I'm talking about active in her church, and probably still is. Yeah. And they always attribute anything to, oh, well, the Lord said do this, keep his commandments, keep his laws, keep this, walk in faith, and I'll reward you with this, that, or the third. And this is something I've asked several people that I know that were heavily into their biblical narrative, and I haven't gotten an answer yet. Is, so how do you reconcile the hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people who don't subscribe to your narrative or any narrative, that are successful, that are doing powerful things in their community, that are raising intelligent kids, that have degrees, that have amazing paying jobs or businesses? How do you reconcile the success of people who don't believe in your God, that are still doing things, while you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, who believe in the biblical narrative and follow it to a T, that are struggling every single day? I can't get an answer.
Man, you know what? You know the story of Abraham?
Not much. Can you please educate me? I'm cool.
Okay,
I'm listening.
so Abraham was a successful man. He wasn't Hebrew, but he was he was Israelite, but he was a Hebrew man, whatever we want to call this guy, right? That hypothetically existed, right?
Okay.
But and I believe it's the book of it's the book of Job. For no fucking reason, right? God and Satan was having a conversation, and they were like, "Look at this nigga," right? Well, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but they're like, "Look at this nigga, just minding his business, praising me." That's, hey, you know what, Satan? That's my most trusted, my most loyal follower. And Satan was like, "I don't believe I can turn this nigga." And God was like, "I bet you can't." And so God and Satan had a bet that he could destroy Job's life. This was a bet now in the story. This is how sick this shit is. So God allowed and gave permission to Satan to kill Job's entire family, destroy all of his crops, destroy all of his cattle, bring this man to his fucking weakest point, just to say, hey, I told you he wasn't gonna leave me.
Wow.
This is God's doing, bro. You see what I'm saying? And like, it was like that's the mentality of this God of the Bible. He's sadistic. Like all he wants is you to praise him. Now I say all that with my little clip note story to say that people today believe that when they suffer, they are being blessed by God. So like when you go out into your life and you are successful, this is why these conspiracies come up with the people in Hollywood that get rich, the music guys. This is the basis for that conspiracy, because they don't believe that in this realm that success is attached to God, because they believe that Satan rules this place. So the more successful that you are, the more you are attached to Satan. That's fucking sick. That's the shit right there. That this I can't, man.
So you're saying that that's where the idea of the Illuminati and the ritualistic behavior of Hollywood and entertainment kind of comes into play.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Because you're not supposed to be successful in this realm or in this world, because this world, they say, is ruled by Satan, and if you're successful in this world, Satan calls it. This is why you don't see Hebrew Israelites in prominent positions, and you don't see them being highly intellectual, because if you're smart, guess what you do? Matter of fact, you might get a good job if you're smart. You may be a biochemist. You know what I'm saying? And the more successful that you are, the more you're dealing with the white man system, and they call the white man the devil. So the more you're functional in this world, the less God will, the less probability that you'll get to heaven. If that makes any sense.
No, I totally understand it. It's basically, since we know this world is run by the quote unquote white man, who the biblical narrative says is the devil. If you play the game, you're playing the game with the devil, which means that you're subsequently in bed with the devil, which means that you're connected.
It, my brother. That's it right. That is the scam of the year. They scamming these people
insane.
Out of their lives, bro. Out of success.
That's crazy.
Like,
that is crazy. That's crazy. And you know what's crazy? And I've like I said, I've spoken to so many different people and known so many friends and stuff like that who believe and stuff like that. One of my favorites is one of my close friends, who you never really hear him talk about religion ever. But he does what he does. He does his belief. His wife is very heavily into it. Actually, his wife's father is a pastor and everything like that for the church, not too far from where I live. But they never pushed that angle. And I always used to say to him that it was something that I always appreciated about him, because he knew my stance on religion and stuff like that. But you have so many other people that have pushed their narrative on you. And I think Christians don't understand at this point that there's so many people walking away from religion that when you come across as one of those people like, oh, my religion is better than yours. And like the sisters, like the young lady's brother did. Oh, so what do you believe, Kyle? So, they don't realize that when you begin to come from a perspective of I'm better than you because I believe in this and you don't, that this is where they get all the hostility, all of the combative conversations, where they get where they get kind of shut down by guys like yourself, Garfield, because I noticed that when people come in humbly, you guys give them that open door and that open conversation where it's just us exchanging narratives. We're just building upon some information, and then we go from there. But the people who come on like her, I've seen you guys do it with Don Law, I've seen you guys do it with Gideon, where they come in so boastful and so arrogant and so I know it already. It's like, all right, now you're gonna get the smoke.
Yeah, hey, sometimes you gotta fire one up on them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get
I'm
it.
not saying that I'm right. I'm not saying that it's right. You know what I'm saying? To go in because they still our brothers and our sisters, and we still love them because you see they come back and we treat them with respect when it's needed or
Yep.
it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? But it's just sometimes we gotta let these people know because in their congregation, like you gotta understand. Let me go back to this for a second. I believe it's in the book of Amos. I may be completely wrong, but it's a book in the Bible, and it speaks specifically about them receiving superpowers and not being able to be touched in this world. One man should be able to kill like 1,000 men. A man should be able to run faster than an arrow or some shit like that. And so they believe because they believe that they're invincible and superior because they have the spirit of God in them or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And that translates into what we would call complete arrogance. Because if I believe that you can't touch me, I might come off a little bit arrogant. You know what I'm saying? And they believe that because they're following these rules of God, that they are somehow above me, you, the rest of the general public. And so we have to be really stern and tough with these individuals. And for me, I get mad when you don't answer my question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I always say that. Getting cut off or not answering your question.
Yeah, like those are the only two reasons why I'm gonna go in. Like, bro, come on, I asked you a simple ass question. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, my bad.
No, I'm just agreeing with you because I've like I said, I watch the channel all the time. I don't always get involved in the chat, or I don't always come on like the panel when there's an open invite for people to come on. But I watch you guys all the time. Like you guys, I used to watch Sonetto all the time, but you guys have become more of what I've been tuned with just because I see with you guys is way less drama. Is way less of the other stuff that I'm not really into like that. I still watch Sa, not no disrespect to him, but I've started to watch, Daggersquad more because of the engagements. And even if it gets a little, it almost feels like I'm at the barbershop, but I'm online.
That's exactly how I feel. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was in the barbershop today actually, and I was talking to my barber. He was like, "Man, your show be tripping." I was like, "Man, that's how we do."
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, it's just like, sometimes, man, I don't want to sound like an asshole. I have a hard time not being an asshole, but sometimes you just gotta go in on the person, man, because like it's not necessarily going in because it's just that male vibrato or energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't ever attack anybody. But in fact, we don't attack anybody's character on Daggersquad. I've never attacked a person. I attack their logic and what they're saying. So I may get mad at you for cutting me off, but that's different than me, you know what I'm saying hey, you are dumb, you know what I'm saying, you're whatever, But I'm like, bro, why you can't answer the question? Like that frustrates me. And I find that a lot of times they're first of all, they're shocked because no one has ever questioned them because they feel that they're representing God's word. You know what I'm saying? You can't question God, and if I'm reading and telling you about God's word, you can't question me. And so that's why I always ask, what's your belief system? Because if you believe in this Bible, you can't ask me no questions because you know that this God is right. And so once they find out that we don't believe in that book, they get frustrated because they have no way to manipulate us.
And I think they also have built up over the years a comfort that since so many people, even if they're not active as much as they are, because we know there's levels to the belief, and you got some people who just believe in God because that was like their family thing and that was a generational thing for them. But then you got some people that are in these buildings, they're part of the congregation, they go hard. But I think they hide behind, to some degree, the safety of knowing that there's so many people that believe from one degree to the next that they can comfortably, in most cases, maybe 8 times out of 10, approach with the God conversation, and the person that they're speaking to is more than likely going to agree because it's a pretty decent chance that they already have that belief in them anyway, even if they're not a practicing Christian or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. No, I, I can't even jump in. You speaking facts. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. I try to deal with logic because like I said, the scholarship piece is something that's why like when you said, "Do I know the story of Abraham?" The first thing I said was, "Please teach me. I'm listening." Like
Yeah.
I'm humble when it comes to that because I know that you guys spent the time invested into these books and things like that, and I listen to guys like Morpheus. I done been in lives where I listen to Morpheus and he'll start speaking another language, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Like
Morpheus. Yeah, Morpheus. He the homie, man. No, I really rock with Morpheus, man. Like,
yeah, he a bad dude. People sleep on him, but he a bad dude.
yeah, he do his thing, man. And he cold with the music too. I ain't gonna lie. Like he actually lives. I'm in Atlanta. He lives like probably like 15 minutes away from me, man.
That's crazy.
Man, like all of us here, bro. It was really crazy. Rocky down here, Ump down here, Morpheus down here, Thunder down here in Atlanta. Man, like we Atlanta based, man. So like we cross paths there so often, and like it's really a like what you were saying. Like we really like we know each other. You know what I'm saying? We sit down, we go to like I've been to lunch with Garfield, Ump, Sinella. You know what I'm saying? Like we
That's
really
dope.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's dope. And I'm glad you guys are bringing forth this information because one thing I do agree with the Hebrew Israelites about is that we've definitely lost the knowledge of ourselves and due to trying to climb up that ladder back to knowing who we are as people, we've jumped in this lane, that lane. We went on the wrong highway, partially on the right highway, then got off at the wrong exit. Like we've been all over the place as a people, and we definitely need to kind of reconcile who we are and be able to pass that down because our kids, we grown men, you know what I'm saying? So we're at that point where we're pretty set in who we are and things like that, and we're comfortable for the most part of who we are. There's still some growth that might present itself, but for the most part, we kind of set with who we are. We grown.
Yeah.
But our kids need to know. Our kids need to be in tune. You know what I'm saying? My daughter just off topic but on topic at the same time. My youngest daughter is 12. When she was like 5-6 years old, she got in trouble by her school because this little girl was trying to push the Christmas narrative on my daughter, which we don't do that in my house.
Yeah.
And she got in trouble. I got a phone call from the teacher, and the teacher was like, "Oh, your daughter, she needs to be mindful of other students. She made a little girl cry because she told the little girl that Santa wasn't real and she thought Santa was a real person." And I said, "Well, I've been told the story what happened by my daughter. And my daughter said that the girl kept trying to force her to believe in Santa Claus, which she doesn't. So my daughter bursted her bubble." And I feel like that's kind of what religious people tend to do. It's like, bro, you have a right to believe, but I have a right not to.
That's the thing, right? That's when it goes back to that theological supremacy. They believe because it's their religion. They look at us like we are doing something wrong because we don't subscribe to their belief system. And I say this all the time. I say that the human default setting is atheist. Anything after that is talk. You know what I'm saying? Like when you come out as a baby, you don't know nothing about no God. All you know is I need some milk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
And everything that we understand, we know that someone has to teach us. You know what I'm saying? Someone taught us religion. If it's African religion, if it's Buddhism, if it's Hebrewism or Islam or whatever, someone had to sit you down and teach you about a God. You don't like if you was in your natural state just out in the wild, you wouldn't look in the sky with your current mind. Now, 5,000 years ago, when we were a lot less, a lot more ignorant, a lot less intelligent, you may have thought that the wind was something spooky, and then you would attribute that to, oh my God, it's something out there. And then they developed these concepts of maybe that thing that blowing these leaves is some type of power that we don't know about. And then they create stories about these powers and give them names, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly how I look at it too.
Yeah, man,
we
on the same page, man.
The most definitely because like I have family members like my aunt, like I lost both my parents some years ago. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. And my aunt has become someone I'm super close to. And her and my grandmother, my father's mother, her mother, are very religious. They in the church. She's not. You won't know that. You don't. If you don't know her personally, you won't know it now because she's not as open about it or whatever the case is. Not necessarily that she doesn't want to be, but more so, as you get older, the way you move changes or whatever the case is. When I was growing up as a kid, Sundays, if we went to go check my grandmother, likelihood my aunt was going to show up, but she was going to show up a little bit later because she was just coming from church. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And I watch her and how she moves, and she's so down to earth and so logical in her thinking that half the time I don't even believe she's religious. And those are the people I take to the most, is because I shouldn't know that you're religious. It doesn't matter, because you being religious is not going to shouldn't stop your common sense. It shouldn't stop your sense of awareness. It shouldn't stop your ability to be down to earth and have an open and unbiased conversation with anybody on the planet just because we believe differently. I've even had conversations with people who I've said, listen, if you look at it from different perspectives, all we did was take the things that were happening around us during times of antiquity, and we just, in some cases, personified it. In some cases, we started naming it. Then we started putting these different attributes and ideas to it because we were trying to make sense of the world around us. So you could go ahead and say, yo, I believe in God, and I could say, yo, I believe in energy, I believe in nature, or you got the 10 Commandments, and Kemet got the laws of Ma'at. This system got the laws of this. This system got this. You got people who deal with common sense, who look at everything because this stuff is embedded in our mind. You're not supposed to steal. When you a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, and you go steal something from the store for the first time, you feel bad about it because you knew it was wrong. People took those concepts and added God to it, and that's how we get these biblical narratives, and we get the Quran and all of this other stuff.
Man, no lies to take it. For real. And you know what? I kind of want to touch, because whatever you just, everything you just said, I agree with you 115%. I do want to touch on something that you said a little bit earlier, though, not to argue with you, because I agree with you. I just want to kind of expound on it.
Absolutely. I'm always open to these type of conversations. I'm cool, bro.
Cool. So basically, the kind of something, I don't want to paraphrase it correctly, but you were basically saying that we kind of all got stripped from our culture when we got brought to the Americas, right? I don't necessarily see that happening. Being honest with you, I thought that too at one point in time. You know what I'm saying? But what I see happening is that we got indoctrinated with a belief system that demonized what we brought over here with us. That's different. You see what I'm saying?
It's very different.
So because we have documentation that voodoo was banned in the southern states. That means that we brought that shit with us. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I studied the plantations that my grandfather was sent to. And it's called Stadville Plantation in North Carolina. And I'll pull it up on the internet for y'all right now. But the people at that plantation said that we used to keep the Egungun festival. That we used to have something called John Canour. We used to have all these festivals that are they had this shit while the people these were Christian white people writing about their slaves. They said the little Negro babies are so happy. They seem so pleased in celebrating their holidays. We kept this shit. The fact is that we turned our back on that because we wanted Jesus more than we wanted our own culture.
Wow.
I'm from the South, bro. I'm from Alabama. I can tell by your voice, you probably from the Bronx or Brooklyn, but you definitely a New York nigga,
born and raised in the Bronx, bro.
I already know, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But the difference is, in the South, we have a lot. I would say we have a lot more traditions. They're a lot more tied to us, right? But it's one thing. Have you ever? Let me ask you this: have you ever seen somebody like your mom or a sister or somebody combing their hair and they burn the hair out their comb?
Yep, my mom used to do that when I was a kid.
Where that come from?
I never thought to ask.
That's voodoo like a motherfucker, bro.
Wow.
when someone sweeps your foot with a broom,
Mm-hmm.
what do? You spit on that
it.
motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah, you think of that.
Yep.
It's not that we didn't know this shit. It's intrinsic in our culture. You see what I'm saying?
You
But
know,
the thing is,
what's crazy? Not to cut your
what's
wisdom. I
up?
just want just to add another example to what you just said.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I'm thinking about what you're saying. I'm like, damn, that's a perfect way that you executed your thought. So I was scrolling through TikTok. Yeah, I'm grown and have TikTok. They can have a field day with that. So there was this video that came up, and the video was talking about the Gullah people in the South.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were doing was they were giving some phrases or words or slangs that are used in that environment. I forgot what the word was, but one of the words, I'm like, I actually, it was, I don't often comment on people's posts, but they said a word. And when I heard the word, I said, oh shit, I'm from the Bronx and we say that up here.
Shit.
And this
What was the
was
word?
like, I can't remember the name of the channel. I gotta find it. If I find it, I definitely gotta get it to you. But they literally had a page up. They were talking about Gullah culture. That was basically the basis of the TikTok page. It was like talking about the Gullah culture and stuff like that. And they literally was like, oh, here's some words that were originated in the Gullah culture, but most people don't know they did. And literally, I can't remember the word. They said the word, and I said, wow, we use that in New York. I remember saying it all the time when I was a kid. And they even commented and said, you see how those types of things travel. So it kind of goes to what you were just saying with the sweeping of the foot, with the burning of the hair and stuff like that. These are cultural things that, for me being a young man, I was ignorant to the fact of this being of our culture that we kept. I just thought it was something that my mom learned when she was a kid, and that was that.
Yeah. It's so much of it, man. It's like when we get down to it, like I know I don't want to be offensive. I know you from New York, and New York believe they created breakdance, but that shit African in a motherfucker. All y'all did,
Yeah,
not to downplay it because y'all took it to another level. I gotta give y'all credit, but
appreciate
that
that.
shit it ain't nothing but an African tribal dance, bro. Like I could pull up footage right now and show you these niggas doing the exact same moves.
That's crazy. They even say that with and I know we're talking more so about our cultures, but they even say that some of the most original martial artists were from Africa. That China picked it up later, and then they kind of developed their own, you know what I'm saying, system behind it. But I was reading somewhere, even in my early years, like high school years, that some of the most earliest forms of martial arts was seen in Africa, in parts of Africa. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Wow, that's all right there. Hey, let me I don't want to be one of them guys that talk shit and then don't prove it what he's saying. I'm gonna share
Yeah.
my screen real quick. Dang, okay, where'd it go? Oh, there you go. All right. So this is what I was kind of talking about, right? I'm not sure if it's big enough. Let me blow it up a second. This is I'm in my email. This is an email from the plantation that my forefathers served at, right? And she's giving me all the sources in there from the Cameron, because my last name is Camaras, but it's supposed to be Cameron, but I'm the first person in my family that like on my male side that was literate. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad couldn't write. You know what I'm saying? And but anyway, so they misspelled the name on the birth certificate, but this is the sources right here. This is the John Canoe sources from North Carolina. These are newspaper articles. This is from 1848. Our little ones keep well and are nice and happy. They had a Merry Christmas, blah blah blah. They have danced together with a Canoe. They spelled it wrong, of course, but it's called John Canoe. We have more musicians than we can accommodate. This is you can look this up. This is in a newspaper in Fairtice, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? It's telling us that we was keeping these traditions. After making much commotion in the city, John Canoers will have will have to hide their faces this Christmas. Old Santa Claus bring a heavy load in his chariot. I expect in his house there's, you know what I'm saying, there's much shit. These are letters from people writing back and forth. This is Margaret and Mildred Cameron, the person that owned my grandfather and great-grandfather. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? They're writing about my family keeping the Junkanur Festival.
That's
So
crazy.
for me, there is no way in the fuck that I would ever practice anything other than this religion if I was to practice one, but I don't need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this like literally, bro. This is the person. This is her. This is a .gov website. This is me because I met. Hey, good to meet you this afternoon. Here's the Junkanur research that I've collected because I talked to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, you
Yeah,
got the you know, the information. You went and went through and got the information, and that's powerful though, because I never took time, because the funny thing is, and I think this is real for a lot of blacks. My grandfather, who's no longer, you know, he passed or whatever the case is, he was from the South. So you got me wondering what type of ties I have, you know what I'm saying, along that family line, because I don't know a lot of my family history, but I've never sat down to try to obtain it. But it kind of makes me wonder, like, with so many of the traditions that are still found in, you know, in the South and made their way up, you know, to different states and different cities and stuff like that, I really do wonder what information could I find from my grandfather's line, because like I said, he was from the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And made his way up here.
It's a brother on Facebook. His name is Kung if you're on Facebook, you can add me on there. My name on Facebook is Marcus Cameras, Marcus Cameras, the same way it's spelled. Well, Cameras, like camera. But you can add me on there, bro. I can connect you with Kung Fu. What he actually does, he actually helps people trace their ancestry. You know what I'm saying? He got a group on Facebook with probably about 40,000 subscribers on there right now. It's a pretty large page, you know what I'm saying? But he literally he shows us, like, he helped me to get the methodology how I did mine too. He kind of helped find my ancestry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's powerful, because I would that's great information to have, even if it's not for my own volition. Like I said, to pass down, you know, to my daughters, and be like, look, this is here's some of your history. Here's some of your information from what your ancestors did, your forefathers, your foremothers, and just kind of just so, because I think it's something that we don't take, that a lot of us, or not enough of us, take into consideration, is like you just said, and I'm actually going to remove my own sentiment from out of my thought process, and adapt the one you just provided, where we didn't lose who we were. We kind of turned away from it because it was demonized.
Yep.
And when you said that, I kind of grimaced and was like, wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, a lot of things, and I don't want to be long. I gotta get ready for the night. You know, it's Friday night. You know, a nigga got these creeps, but you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course.
But I did. I forgot what I was gonna say. But I literally forgot everything that I was gonna say just did. Oh, fuck it. Last question. This ain't the question I was gonna ask you, but last question. You from up north? This is a very, very important question. You rolling with cigarillos or backwoods?
See, I'm 37, so
yeah.
I've come from. I don't smoke, but when I did,
yeah,
we was rolling with Phillies.
Oh, y'all doing the Phillies up there?
I'm from that. I'm from that era. I'm from the era where they use Phillies.
All right.
But a lot of the younger New Yorkers now are doing backwards.
All right, man. You know, that's like a cultural divide, man. Down here in the South, man, we do the cigs. You know what I'm saying?
They have them up here. You got some people that use them, but for the most part, like I said, I'm from that generation that use Phillies, and then most of the dudes that I know that still smoke to this day, they do backwards.
All right, hey, that's what's up, bro. Look, hey, man, look. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the show off and get myself ready for the night. I'm gonna twist up a few of them right now, hit these streets. But
Why
I thank
not?
you from my heart, bro, for joining in. Anytime I'm live, bro, you are more than welcome to come on to the platform.
I
I'm gonna make you
appreciate
a
you.
part of my channel, man, because you're super respectful and you're a down to earth brother, and you on your shit, bro. So I'm gonna make you a model on my channel. So hopefully I can get some more views in here next time. But man, thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for everybody who joined. Thanks to Tamika. Thanks for Rocky for joining in. Save you for peeping in for a second. I respect all y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for joining the discussion today, bro. And hey, next time I'm live, bro, I'm looking for you in the chat, King.
Yeah, I got you. And much love to you, and be safe out there, but have fun.
Hey, likewise, fam. You have a good weekend.
Appreciate you. You too.
Hey, peace to y'all, and thanks for joining in. This is Kyle. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. We got more content coming. I do have an exciting thing I'm doing. I'm making a huge purchase. I'm buying a truck on live. I'm gonna set this bitch up, and I'm gonna have that bitch mounted up on the 8-inch lift. Just be patient. I'm looking for one right now, and it's looking real mean. I'm looking at the 1500 right now, and it's looking nasty. Ooh, that's Sierra. The AT4. The AT4 finna crush y'all, boy. But anyway, man, Tonka Toys, big money, big pockets. Hey, man, love your family, protect your family at all costs. This is your boy Kyle. This is Kyle signing out, and thank y'all for joining. Much love. Peace.